We are both physical and spiritual beings. Too often we focused almost entirely on the physical aspects of our presence here on earth. We get caught in the journey of our everyday lives without looking beyond the road in front of us. We see the necessary tasks at hand, earning money, cooking dinner, doing laundry, walking the dog. The tasks go on and on. We fail to look, to appreciate, to connect with the world beyond the lines of the road, the world in our periphery, the spiritual, mystical world of nature. We stand in the heart of nature. We are not only focused on preserving it, but also growing and enhancing it. In the late 1960s, our family was privileged with the right to divert water from the Columbia River. That right provided us the opportunity to divert water for agricultural purposes. Water is the source of all creation, connecting the physical and spiritual worlds together. For without water, there is no life. Thus, our right to divert water demands our responsibility to nurture and enhance the agricultural environment which flourishes from it. Focusing solely on the physical necessity of producing food and wine misses the larger need for that spiritual connection of agriculture as part of nature, the need to nurture all the diversity of life which springs forth from the abundance of water. Agriculture and nature cannot be separated, just as the physical and spiritual worlds should not be separated. So, while our focus is agriculture, we must also strive to balance that with the need to look beyond the boundary of the field, to see, appreciate, and nourish the nature that surrounds it. Agriculture is our mind and body. Nature is our heart and soul. Preserving and nurturing our natural environment isn't an afterthought or a rule. It is the very essence of what it means to be an agriculturalist. We cannot think in terms of days or seasons. We must think in terms of the next 1,000 years, day by day, year by year, generation by generation. My grandfather, Milt Mercer Sr., was a sheep herder. He started in the family business in 1917. The family raised about 10,000 ewes. They pastured them between our current farm in the Horseheaven Hills and a ranch leased in northwest Montana that was near the Milk River and Chief Mountain, which is part of the Rocky Mountains in Glacier National Park. He ran sheep until 1953 and wrote a book about his life in the 1980s. The clear message from the book was that he loved raising sheep. I think primarily because he was connected to nature. He very much lived in both a physical and spiritual world. His love for that connection is very much alive and flourishing in our family today. My father, Milt Mercer Jr., Bud, was a farmer. He grew up raising sheep and then cattle, but with the introduction of water to our ranch in 1968, he turned his focus to farming. The capital investment in our water and farming infrastructure turned his attention almost exclusively to the physical world. It was the necessity of making ends meet, paying for the hired hands, the farming inputs, and paying back the bank. There wasn't time or money to look beyond the road in front of him. The periphery of the nature which began to spring up around the field's edge was mostly ignored. I believe that he understood that, and as the years wore on and a little time and money became available, he started planting trees around our farm. There was no profit in it, only that spiritual connection, that act of planting a tree for the sake of beauty and nature. Thus began the project of farm beautification and spiritual connection, otherwise known as sustainability and conservation. Sustainability is a word that is used often, but it is vague, often misleading, and hard to define. Conservation is another term that doesn't quite fit our environment, because while we are focused on conserving water, Our efforts are focused on building and improving our environment. We are not only conserving, but more importantly, enhancing, growing, and improving the natural world of our agricultural project. We are constantly striving to create a better connection with the nature around us. I like the more mystical term of spiritual connection. My father and the farm team began the first major tree planting on the farm in 1988. It was a line of poplar trees about 2 miles long that paralleled one of the two roads that entered our farm. We have continued and improved upon that original concept ever since that time, focusing on adding trees in areas that benefited from the wind protection and adding evergreens such as junipers. Later, we began to add vegetation such as Siberian pea brush that provided protection and feed for the birds and other wildlife. Since 1988, we have added over 12,000 trees and countless other flora to our agricultural environment. The beauty and spiritual connection grow stronger each year. My name is Rob Mercer, son of Bud Mercer, grandson of Milt. I came back to the farm in 1996. I was focused on the physical aspects of the farm. I had a lot to learn and a lot to prove. I was farming and learning the many aspects of our operation. Those trees didn't go unnoticed or unappreciated, but they were in my peripheral vision. Then in 2006, I caught the bug. A little bit of this spiritual connection began to sink in. We have 2 canyons with small streams that run through the farm. We cannot farm them, and thus they were neglected and full of non-native weeds. I sensed the need to clean them up. My 6-year-old son TJ and I took the most visible and easiest piece and cleaned up about 10 acres and planted it to native grasses that still thrive today. Since that time, we have restored some 120 acres of native grass. We incorporated an old breed of small cows called Corrientes to help keep the grass and landscape healthy and invigorated. Like faith, the mystical and magical world of nature on our farm cannot be summed up or counted or be completely explained. But like faith, it can grow, be appreciated, and provide us a sense of balance. Guided by inspiration and a desire to deepen our spiritual connection with the land, we will continue to build and improve our natural world generation upon generation for the next 1,000 years.